Top-line Business Development Corp is making a massive 1.5 billion peso bet on its future. So today, we're going to pop the hood and see exactly how this fuel giant plans to use that capital to really supercharge its growth. Let's get right into it. And that's the number at the very heart of this story. 1.5 billion pesos. You know, a figure like that doesn't just whisper, it shouts. It signals some serious ambition and a very clear vision for where they're headed. So, where's all this cash coming from? Well, it's a huge follow-on offering. But I want you to think of this as less like just filling up the gas tank and more like a complete engine overhaul. This isn't just about raising money. It's about putting a very specific and very powerful strategy into motion. All right, so let's start with the what. What exactly is this offering, and what does it really mean for the company on a day-to-day basis? And that, of course, brings us to the why. Because the entire P1.5 billion plan really hinges on one single powerful business concept: vertical integration. Now, that's the key question, isn't it? It's one of those terms that gets thrown around a lot in business. But what does it actually mean for a company like this? Okay, think of it like owning your own backyard. Instead of relying on a bunch of different companies for different parts of your business, TLP wants to control its entire supply chain, from sourcing the fuel all the way to selling it at the pump. This strategy is the engine driving this entire fundraising effort. And you don't have to take my word for it. The company's CEO, Eugene Eric Lim, put it very plainly. He said this money is all about supporting that vertical integration strategy. He's talking about stronger supply chains, a bigger retail footprint, and way more control over how they actually buy their fuel. So, we get this strategy now. But how will Top actually use this mountain of cash to make vertical integration a reality? Let's dig into the how. The plan is actually a really clear three-pronged attack. First, they're going to start importing fuel directly themselves, no more middleman. Second, they need a place to put all that fuel, right? So they're going to expand their depots to store it. And third, with that stable supply locked in, they can hit the gas on growing their network of stations. See how each step just builds right on top of the last one? It's a logical chain. The end goal here is pretty simple, really. It's all about control. By controlling the entire process from the ship to the pump, TOP is aiming for way more flexibility, a rock-solid stable supply, better profit margins, and a much deeper reach into the market. Every single step is designed to create a real, tangible business advantage. Okay, this all sounds fantastic for the company, but what does it all mean for a potential investor? What's in it for you? Let's connect the dots and look at the so what, the bottom line. Here's the structure of the deal. The company is offering up to 1 billion pesos in what they call firm shares. Then, if there's enough demand, if people are really eager to get in, they have an option to sell another 500 million pesos worth. You add those two up, and that's how we get to that headline-grabbing total of up to 1.5 billion pesos. So what exactly are you buying into as an investor? These are called perpetual preferred shares. The key word here is perpetual. It means they don't have an expiration date. So you should think of it as a long-term investment. The price is up to 100 pesos a share, and the main attraction is the promise of stable, fixed dividends that get paid out every single quarter. And here's the timeline, though of course this is all subject to getting the green light from regulators. The company filed all the paperwork with the SEC back on March 23rd. The offer period is planned for late May into early June, with the offering itself slated for June 11th, 2026. You know, the CEO's final word here really wraps up the entire promise to investors perfectly. Build a more resilient company, boost those profit margins, and deliver sustainable, long-term value. That's the core of the pitch. So, I guess that leaves us with the one big question. This entire strategy, this whole 1.5 billion peso play, is a bet that greater control equals greater strength. By investing all this capital to own its supply chain from end to end, is Top paving the way for a more resilient and ultimately a more profitable future. That's the thesis for you to consider.